welcome to the Widow Strong podcast. Hi, I'm Michelle Poremski. You're joining us. We're just a group of girlfriends who happen to be widows, and we're going to be sharing our tips and strategies to help you along your widow journey. Thanks so much for joining us. All right, ladies, here we go. Part 2, and we're going to be talking about strategies for our families so that we can create margin for ourselves. So I loved what we shared in session 1, that each of us in our first summers as widows, what did we do? Like you were saying, Katrina, what did you do? You were...
Oh, I scheduled everything. So
exactly.
I was constantly trying to fill that plate to make sure there was no free time.
Right. And how did that make you feel?
Oh, stressed out. That stressed me out because it was just more work. But then, it's like the alternative. So I kind of struggled through that year, I'll say.
Exactly.
But it did get better.
Exactly. And Melissa, I'm in awe.
No.
I'm in awe because you're only in year 2 and you're okay with creating margin.
Yeah. I've just
That's
reached
huge.
that place.
Goal.
Yeah.
And you're in year 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Summer 1, I had too much margin. There was nothing scheduled. I did the exact opposite of Katrina. So yeah, I'm trying to get a good balance.
And how does that feel to have margin for yourself? Like downtime, basically,
Oh my
unscheduled
gosh,
time.
I love it. I love
Good.
it. I know I need that. I need time just to chill, to not be talked to or asked questions of, and I don't have to go anywhere, just some space.
And how do your
I
kids
need that
handle
every
that?
day.
Yeah, that's
My
what
kids
I'm
do that
saying.
too. They
Yeah,
need it too.
they
We
need
talk
it.
about it.
My
That's
kids do
awesome.
too. My
If
kids
I
are
have
that
too
way.
much schedule, they set me down and say, "Mom, we need a chill day.
Yeah.
We need
Nice.
attention."
I got girls
Yeah.
and they're constantly, they need to talk to me. And then so I have to listen to them, otherwise they get upset.
Yeah.
So they need that time
They
to
do.
just, talk to me
They
for a good
need-
solid hour,
Yes.
and that's individually because they don't want to share that time.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
do.
that's hilarious.
Wow.
Yes.
They do. I have boys, so it's a little bit different. They need time to themselves. My kids are like yours. They're like, I need some downtime. I need free time. When is our next off day? That's
Yes.
They want to know.
It's
They
important.
like that time to themselves. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I started sharing in session 1 what my personal journey was. So I was saying that when I became a widow, I was pregnant in April, and then I gave birth in June. So that was my first summer, is I had a new baby. And 1 month later was my other daughter. She was 2 and 10 months old at the time, and she turned 3. And I was completely overwhelmed. So I got a nanny, actually, to help because I was just grieving so much. So you know what? Having another pair of hands on deck, that was key. That was incredibly helpful. Somebody who lived in the house and helped me consistently because I was just shredded. And then summers after that, I did the same thing that you did. I scheduled. Man, we did stuff all the time. And I was exhausted. And so this summer, I turned to my girls, and sometimes I'm a slow study, so sometimes I've scheduled for years throughout the summer. That's why I'm like, you just created downtime in year 2? Year 12. So I turned to my girls, and I was like, girls, I just want you to understand that this is the summer of mom.
Oh,
Yeah,
I want you to know,
Exactly.
and that's where the series started from. And I was like, I love you, but I have been running all year long for you,
Yes.
all scholastic year, and I need to take care of myself. So I will not be taking you to all your events. We will have downtime in the house. We will decompress.
Yes.
And I want you to make that emotional adjustment now because this is your summer. And it's okay to be bored. And I'm okay with you being
I'm
bored.
okay with you being bored.
Exactly.
I think when you tell them, when you talk
When
to
you
them
tell
like
them,
that,
it's
they
a different-
completely understand.
Okay.
Yep.
It's better than the opposite of just snapping at them when you're like get so
Right.
stressed out because you're doing too much.
Yes.
So if
Yeah.
you just talk to them and say, hey, time out.
I need
Right.
some
I need
time.
I'm
Get some
completely
downtime.
wiped out. And I put myself on a schedule, on a cleanse schedule. Each of us has our own way. But I'm not necessarily top energy at the moment because I like detoxed off of sugar and that wasn't fun.
Yeah.
So, but now
Withdrawal is no joke.
Yeah, that
sugar
is-
withdrawal is so real.
that was
Oh my
intense.
gosh.
That was like one dark day in a room. And you know what you do? I just put frozen stuff in the freezer and I was like, girls, have at it. Mommy is checked out right now.
Yes.
But I feel great now.
Yeah.
I feel great
You
now.
just got to get through it.
I did not feel great on day 2.
Yes.
No.
Oh, wow.
And then I had a dull headache for like 4 days.
Yes.
Oh.
because
Oh.
Yes. It's just like when people withdraw
No.
from caffeine.
Count me out.
It's
Oh,
the
yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
that,
wow.
it's that
I am
headache
not gonna do that this
that
summer.
comes. Yes.
I wanted to do that, but
Bring
I'm
on
like,
the
I
Coke.
don't know if I can.
But
See,
did you go cold turkey?
I did.
Oh, see,
I
that's
did.
probably
Well,
why.
no, I actually I took some time. I took like a week before, and then, but even with the week before, when I really went cold turkey, it still hurt.
Yeah.
But now I'm beyond it, and I feel awesome, and my sleep is awesome, and my
Yes.
joints feel great, and
Yes.
like all kinds of stuff is. But that's a topic for a whole other series. But anyway, that was part of my summer of mom. Is I needed to take care of me.
you. Yes.
So what I do is I kind of like, I don't know if y'all ever watched that Super Nanny series.
Yeah.
Man, she helped me a lot as a widowed parent. She really did. So what I do is I pretend like I'm Super Nanny and I just observe my household. And I'm like, where is the tension in my household?
Yes.
Where do I see? It's kind of like when my kids, they keep dropping their clothes in the bathroom and I just put a hamper there. I'm like, just
Genius.
do the same thing, but they
Put
go
it
in
in
the
the
hamper.
hamper.
Just put it in the hamper. So I noticed that I would tell my girls things to do, or I would encourage them to like, hey, if I'm at work while I'm away, could you do these things so that when I come home we can play?
Exactly.
Well, maybe it'd be done, maybe it'd be half done, maybe it'd be all the way done, but it was like a crapshoot.
Yes.
Okay, so, and I just want to also go on board saying this is not hooch, this is my water. But,
It's
we're
in a
Southern.
jar. That's
yeah, it's in a
fantastic.
jar. We drink from jars in the South.
Yes.
Okay, so anyway,
Some of us do.
Some
Some of us.
some of us, the less refined.
Category.
Do
Yes,
I know? I
exactly.
I bring my jars with me everywhere. So anyway, I noticed that the big default was screens.
Yes.
They're just defaulting to screens. I would tell Sophie, like, please pick up these things. And then she literally walked over to the computer and I go, why are you on the computer? She goes, I thought that I would teach myself art with YouTube videos. And I'm like,
Yes.
how
can,
did
after
me
you
telling
pick up
you to
these
pick up stuff? I mean,
Trigger, yeah.
I'm going to learn a new life
Priorities.
skill.
Yes.
And so,
That's what I'm doing. I don't know what you had planned.
So what I did is I realized I needed to grab control of the screens.
Yes.
So I actually reached out to the maker of my Wi-Fi router and I called customer service. They happen to have an app. I downloaded the app and I'm able to control for free each individual item that connects to my Wi-Fi, and now I own the Wi-Fi password. So it took like 2 hours, 2 1-hour sessions with customer service, worth every second, because I will tell you now that like in the morning I'm like, that's off, that's off, that's off, that's off, and then when the girls complete their tasks, I will turn it on for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And then the coup d'etat, there were 2 of them. One was I came to work, I turned off all the screens, and then I left our phone on, right? Because it's through the internet. And I said, girls, when you've completed these tasks, call me from our landline, and then I will turn on your phone, Ari, and then take pictures of all the completed tasks, and then I will turn the rest of the things on. When I came home, I had a clean house. Everything
Yes.
was swept up.
Yes.
Everything was
wow.
fabulous.
Yes.
They can do laundry. They can cook food.
Yes.
And then you come home and you have time to play. And I thought, here is where the margin happens,
Yes.
so that you don't feel
Yes.
like everything's on your
On your
plate.
plate
The
when you come
family
home.
starts to work together.
Yes.
And then the other day, I have this Peloton bike. Now, you can use all kinds of different things to exercise, but what would happen is my kids would be watching a screen and I'd be exercising in the other room. Well, I turned it all off. And they're like, "What are we doing?" I'm like, "I'm going to exercise for an hour. Please do not disturb me. And please complete these tasks so that when I am done exercising,
Yes.
we can go do something fabulous."
Yes.
And guess what? It was done.
It was
Oh,
done.
wow.
Fabulous.
Yeah, my kids didn't have cell phones the whole time.
Right.
So for us, their motivator to get their task done was always very similar, but it was, either it was motivating them to say, well, because on the weekends, they want to go out with their friends.
Absolutely.
Or they're like, I want to go, what are we doing? Right? So because we would always have something to do together. So as long as I said, hey, as long as you get these things done, you can go. But if you don't get these things done,
That's
you're
right.
not going anywhere.
That's right.
And for us, that typically worked. Also, it was money, allowance. So when they would come on Saturday, say, and they want to go out with their friends, and they're like, I didn't get my allowance. I was like, yeah, because you didn't do your work. And they would be sitting at home on one Saturday. I didn't have any more issues after that because they were like, I don't want to be sitting at home. I want to go out and do things. And so for me, it was either money was the motivator or it was activities were the motivator.
Yes.
I would, that was not my experience. Dylan, when they went through that, and I would say probably my oldest, it's like she hit that awful teenage phase at 12, and then it was like carried throughout, and now we're like the best of friends. But my youngest was the opposite. She was like, I don't want to be arguing like mom is arguing with, so she would just do stuff. She was more of a pleaser. But my oldest one, it was a battle of the wills. It was like I went through so many, well, maybe if I do this, I could use this as leverage, as a tool to, but it was like she just didn't care. But I wish, I knew about that, turning off the screens, so I didn't have to like threaten to take the cell phone or, something
have
else.
to take the cell
Just
phone.
do it. Oh, and by the way, when you get this done, then, that makes it so much simple.
It does.
Yeah.
There's
It
no
does.
argument. There's just here are the things that you have to do today.
Exactly.
And, once you do them, then you'll get your screen time.
Yep.
Yes.
Exactly.
Very simple.
Exactly.
I'm
Very
telling
simple.
you. If I'd have had those tools,
And
we would have had this conversation.
But I remember
Yeah.
telling my kids, we're a team now.
Yeah.
You have
Yes.
to, and how do you build a team? Everybody on the team has certain responsibilities.
I like that.
And that was, but I also have boys, and I think to some degree, boys have the tendency to be like, "What's my part?" And
What is
so,
my role
what's
here?
my role here? Yeah. So they were really willing to take on certain roles, and I
Nice.
think that is the difference between you and the girls and me and the boys. Yeah.
And there are different things that you can use to control the screens,
Yes.
such as Circle by Disney, and you can actually control specific each device and what each device is allowed to see. And then there's like Xfinity has an app, so just explore it because there are many ways to skin that cat.
Yes.
Exactly.
How about you, Melissa?
I definitely need to do some work on that one because my kids' currency is electronics,
Yes.
so that's their currency.
Yes, it really
Allowance,
is.
whatever.
Yeah.
Time with friends, whatever.
Yes.
Electronics.
That is it.
Yep.
So that's that is the big thing there.
So, Melissa, you actually have a really awesome tool, which I
You're so
totally
sweet.
copied for my family after I saw it. So I thought that this would be a great time.
This is huge and obnoxious. So if you're watching it on a video, you can see this.
Oh, it's fabulous. It needs
It's
to be
ridiculous.
huge and obnoxious.
This
But let's
is
put it
a-
behind right
sure.
there. Okay.
This is an oversized marker board. It is a calendar. I fill it in with with your dry erase markers. It's no big deal. This is not rocket science. This is not a brand new idea. Everything's color coded. maybe that's a different idea here. That was new to you, Michelle, I think. Like you weren't
No,
doing
just
that.
the calendar, because I'm
calendar?
actually like an artistic type, and
Yeah.
I kind of
Yeah.
push back on schedules, but I am embracing it now, baby.
It makes such a difference.
oh my gosh, it's a game
And
changer.
so everyone has their own color, and this is how I do things in my Google Calendar as well.
Mm.
If it's
That's
mine,
not
it's
mine.
purple. If it's my daughter's, it's pink. If it's my son, and so we all
Wow.
have our thing.
Okay.
If we all need to be there, it's orange. So
Wow.
so I don't waste that space on my calendar, whether here, whether written or electronic, to say it's mine or it's my son's or so I just know based on the color. But this is on my wall, and so when they want to know what's going on today or what's going on this weekend, it's right there. I am not the walking source of information. Mom,
Yes.
what are we doing? Mom,
Right.
what's happening?
Yes.
Mom.
Right.
And this summer, if you've noticed, so today is the 13th, and in my calendar is erased all the way, June 1st through the 12th is erased. That's for my sanity because I feel like there's so much going on my calendar, and I just need some space, need some clarity there. So I've been erasing it as I go, as opposed to
Yes.
crossing it off and letting all this
Stuff
this
build
messiness
up.
be there. So that's just a little thing. It's not major, but my kids look at that and they know
And they know.
Yeah.
it's on there.
Yeah.
And as we discuss things as a family and decide to do something, my daughter will get up and get the correct color marker and
Yes.
put it on
And
there.
Put it on there. Don't you love that?
So kind of learning some skills. And along those lines, okay, so this is something new I've done. So this is not pretty at all. This is, it's not pretty, I'm sorry.
Okay.
But I'm giving this to my kids. It's a daily schedule.
What?
So I have, it's by every 15 minutes, it starts, at some ridiculously early time, like 7:30, which is not happening, which is fine, all the way down to bedtime. But just to say, okay, hey, today you have camp from this time to this time. And then off on the right, I have chores / to-do list. And then I have educational. And they're blank. I fill this in every day. And some days I don't do it. Some days I do it the night before. Some days I'm doing it at noon on the day of. And, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's not the point. But it's their job to look at their schedule
know what's they're
and say,
responsible
okay,
for.
well, I have to do this work on the computer, and I have to read for 30 minutes, and I need to vacuum. My mom wants me to vacuum and clean the guinea pig cage. When are you going to do that? And it's up to them. If you want to do it at 9 o'clock in the morning and be done with it, cool. If you don't want to do it until 9 o'clock at night, cool. Guess who's not going to remind them to do their things?
I didn't do reminders either.
Who are you?
I'm not reminding them.
That's awesome.
I didn't do reminders
It's not my
either.
job to nag them or remind them.
I
or
didn't
pester
totally
them.
nagging and
Yeah,
reminding.
me neither. I didn't do reminders.
It's right there.
I didn't
That's your
do
sanity
reminders.
right there.
And I'm trying to teach them to be more responsible
Yes.
and think through their time. And they get to own it.
Yeah.
If you want to rush through it and whatever, and so I'm still working through, consequences, rewards, that kind of thing. But
Yes.
for the most part, there are no rewards. This is just how it works.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Okay? You don't get a
Exactly.
sticker or no. You just-
No.
I
This is
didn't
how
do
you
a lot of
function.
reminders either.
Right,
I
this is
would-
part
I
of
would
being
just
a
simply
family.
say,
Yeah,
this
this
is
is
a
how you
part of
function.
being a family.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't do reminders either. I would just simply say,
Yeah.
you know what you're responsible for, and if you don't do it, you don't get the
Exactly.
things that
And I think
you
I'm
want.
gonna take on your idea, Michelle. And you didn't get through your list. You didn't do a good job managing your day yesterday. Guess who doesn't have Wi-Fi?
Exactly.
So it's just a little
Exactly.
thing, and just I'll move this. And it's just small things like that. I'm writing things down to hold them accountable, to let them know what I expect of them. And it helps me remember too, because you guys, I still have widow brain. I cannot remember what I told them to do 4 hours
It's
ago.
the
I
list,
don't know.
man. Yeah.
I don't know who I told to vacuum.
I remember.
Okay.
I remember that brain.
That's
yes.
awesome. Well, Melissa, will you make that file available to us so that
Sure.
we can? Hey, if you go to widowstrong.com and sign up on our newsletter, we will email you that file so that you can have a daily schedule for your kids. So in session 3,
Check on- everyone
thank
on
you so
track.
much. That was absolutely. In session 3, we're going to be talking about self-care strategies. When we start to gain control of the tension in our home, then we can find the margin to take care of ourselves, which is so important. All right, well, thanks for joining us. Thank you, ladies. I'm so excited. You're awesome. All right, thanks for joining us. If you'd like to learn more, go to widowstrong.com. God bless.